Welcome back to Speed Demon Painting, where today we're taking a look at one of the new things I've recently purchased, which is the Tianlong battle fleet set for the Empire in Dystopian Wars. Now, it's a lovely little box. It comes as a full fleet in and of itself that you can slot into both the Chinese and Japanese part of the Empire, because they can actually change their keywords as you will. And yeah, we're gonna open this one up as usual. Sort of comes with this thing that you can just slide off, and then we can find the contents of what is in the box itself. Now, as you open it, immediately there's a new system in here for the bases that they recently did. It comes with these, well, it seems almost like inserts for their bases. It comes not with just one, it comes with two of them. Now, one thing that they did include was a set of their new flight stands that we've seen in other Warcradle products, such as the recent Wild West Exodus 3rd edition box. It did only come with a single one of these, however, which I thought was a bit tricky because, well, you have three curved ones. It's not going to look good if you have two curved ones and then the straight one, so you're gonna have to use all three of them. I have a ton of these, luckily, because I bought the 3rd edition Wild West Exodus starter, but not everyone does, and I can see that's something you want to keep in the back of your head. You are sort of stuck with using the lowest stem, if you will, for these. Now, in the box itself, when we look at the rest, it comes with the sprues for the plastic bits. You can see they come with these lovely little tabs that we've seen on all of the Warcradle plastics so far, so they stack up rather nicely, and it also prevents parts from being damaged. There's three identical sprues on here, so I'm only going to go and do an overview of a single one of them, as that makes most sense. Now, on a single sprue, you actually find the parts to make one of these Tianlong dragons and two destroyers. So that's the content for a single sprue. The body for the Tianlong comes in two parts essentially, which are these two main bits. And well, the gong destroyers themselves can be built in one of two ways. You can have them either with this central part here, which is copied on this part of the sprue as well, which is essentially double rocket batteries. Another option is to use these parts, and then you have one rocket battery, and you trade in the second rocket battery for the things that are essentially found on this here, which is essentially flamethrower, or Hokyang, at least that's how I think you should pronounce it. Yeah, so that's one of your two build options for the gong destroyers, the small destroyer ships that accommodate or accompany these Tianlong fleets, essentially. Now, small things that I have noticed on this set. The Tianlong itself comes with two weapons. I think this long bit is supposed to be the thing that is your flamethrower, and it can be swapped out with a heatland set, and judging from the artwork, I'm thinking that's this part here. Might be the opposite way around though. Best to actually verify that when I actually check the build instructions for them. The rest is all smaller parts like these, the shoulder attachment. It comes with this main part that you have to attach onto the body itself. Let me have a look at. There you go. This is where the turret goes, and there's a few options that you can slide in. The kit comes with an interface generator, which is quite handy to have. It comes, of course, with your traditional heavy gun battery, which can be found on this bit. But it also came with, specifically for the Japanese versions, this little one, which is actually a dojo that comes with four little tabs on the backside that will essentially just slot into this piece here at the front to have that option. Now, it also seems that you just have to use the round shape to drop in your heavy gun battery, so magnetizing this is going to be a pain, and I think I'm going to experiment using blue tack. It's something I've done on my Enlightened fleet as well. It works just fine. Other than that, the dragon comes with 2 head options. You can either choose this variant or this variant. It only seems to have a single top cover though, so whatever variant you build is going to be with this one. Similarly, on the main body, we actually have this little slot for the arms, and it comes with this square tab on it, which can also be found on the arms, essentially here. This is tricky to focus on. Just try to get this one here. This one, I think that one needs to be sliced off if you actually want to have your arms in a different position than just the vertical one. The idea is that I'm going to be looking at a bit of artwork for Chinese dragons and try to find a few cool poses that I want to use. I think it should be possible because you have the ball joint essentially on the actual flight stem, allowing the body to be twisted in a way just so that the jets can have slightly different poses. And well, the head is attached as well, essentially via this little thing, which is also a ball joint. So I'm thinking you can twist the head rather easily as well to create a few different poses out of the 3, because otherwise I think you are going to, if all 3 have the same pose, it would match the robotic nature of them, of course, but I kind of wanted to try something different. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble these downstairs in the hobby room, and then I'll show you the rest when I get back. See you then. Right, here we are again, and I've been working hard on getting these guys finished. I've finished one of them in what is essentially the standard pose, with the jet engines aiming down, the arms sort of angled outwards. And there was one thing that I have to mention though. In the original part of the video, the first part, I said that you had a few weapon options, on head options rather. But now I've found out that the head option that you take for this model is actually tied to the weapon option that you choose. If you want to get this flamethrower Hawkyang in there, and I did drill the barrel, as you should do when it's possible, then you do have to go for the head that has the open mouth. So all 3 of my Tianlongs have the same open head. I was able to sort of also go for a few variants, like this one. I'm actually holding it sideways because that's essentially how I intend to mount it on its base. Now I didn't glue the bases together yet, but I grabbed one of the flying stand bases that appeared to have the exact same size. I was also wrong about my first bit where I thought it was an insert. It's not. It's actually the exact same size as the size 2 stand from Wild West Exodus. Now the good thing about these is these are ball joints, so you can actually set them together, and essentially I'm going to be mounting it as such that the dragon itself is sort of angled slightly differently compared to the normal ones. Now you can, as you can see, if you want to angle them, one quick little snip of that tab made sure that you could angle the engines as you would, or as you will rather, and the same thing with the arms. I was able to angle them in different directions rather easily just by slicing off that little square tab. And I did something similar, but creating a dragon that leans the other way around for the 3rd one, and that's how it went together. It went together rather smoothly. There were no real issues during assembly. It was only the thing that surprised me was the head option, really, like I mentioned earlier. Now if you want to get a sense of scale, how big these things actually are, well, I took one of the Mass 2 fleets, or ships rather, from the Enlightened, and as you can see, if it wants to focus on it, it's about the same size. Head to toe, they sort of match. So there's no difference here. This definitely is a Mass 2 ship in the game. If you want to know what a Mass 2 ship is like, if you compare them side by side with some models that you may be more familiar with, like this Primaris Marine from the GW range, it is a fairly sizable model. But then again, I think it was 46 euros that we ended up paying for 3 of them, and the 6 Gong destroyers, which I didn't assemble. Like I said, didn't really have any interest in those. I just wanted the Japanese dragons. To give you a comparison, that is about the same value for money as you would get with one of these Ulciarch Bone Reaper Stalkers. It's roughly the same amount of money, and when you compare the 2 models to each other, I guess that's about right, especially if you consider that you get 3 extra, well, no, sorry, 6 extra destroyer ships along with them. It's still very decent in terms of value for money. So yeah, that concludes the review of the Tianlong fleet, and if you want to see how this gets painted up and you want to see future videos more on Dystopian Wars, I hope you click the like and subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Bye!